Okay, let's start working on the other side now. I'm just going to move the storyboard over. I'll need to make sure that's actually in the storyboard layer and drag that up to the top. And I can just move this over here. Start working on this section. Again, using A, I'm going to select the edges, the little corners here, and you can actually see the pixels up here. I'm going to align that to center. Got this piece here. And to make this kind of half circle. So we'll need to make sure that's actually aligned to the base of this rectangle. So I can actually turn Snap to Grid off. Just manually move that down. And now if I select both of those, I can select Divide again. Ungroup, delete that piece. We've got two shapes there, so I'll make sure these are at the back so I can see that little dot. Snap to Grid back on. Probably actually copy and paste this guy here. Let's change the colors so it's not the same as the piece over there. This kind of traffic light looking graphic here. So let's drop that in. and this piece here. Maybe center that to that circle there. Scale this down, just down to 80%, just so there's a little bit more room for it to breathe around there. I've got this piece here to make as well. It's got these cuts through it, so let's create that. And we need to cut this in half, so I'm going to create a rectangle up the middle and then select all and divide. Just continuing to check that things are aligned to the grid. I've got this piece here to make as well. And I'm going to create a big circle from this edge to this edge and divide those. I've got a little cut here. I might do just one. Selecting the circle and this part of this circle, divide that, then delete. Got this kind of section in here we can do. Cool, that looks pretty good. Now we just have to tidy up a couple of bits. So we've got this piece in here. We need to bring the square over, I think. So let's zoom in here, have a look. If we go to view and snap to grid off, I'm going to make sure that the rectangle finishes at the center point of the circle. And we just need to make sure the piece behind goes the whole way. Looks pretty close. I'm going to make this one piece as well, so if I select on both of those and bring Pathfinder back up, I can actually see that the rectangles actually come over the grid line here, so let's fix that. I'm going to undo a couple of times and go to snap to grid. What I'm going to do now is just make sure that everything's actually aligned to the grid. I'm just going to go to View Outline, and I'm just going to come in here and just start double checking. Kind of hard to tell though, so you'll know pretty quickly once you take it into Cinema 4D. I can see here that I've actually got a shape behind this shape that shouldn't be there, so let's sort that out. See here that this looks like it's got some gaps in it, so I might actually have to recreate this. Let's rebuild this one because that's not going to be great. You can see there's gaps all the way around it, so let's delete that and just make sure that the pieces around it are actually aligned to the grid. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is actually divide the entire design. And the reason being is at the moment we've just got shapes overlaying each other. All the shapes need to be individual pieces in order for us to extrude them in Cinema 4D. Selecting the design, just Just checking it over just quickly. And I'm going to press divide and then ungroup. And now you'll see that we've got individual pieces. There's nothing overlaying each other. If I quickly select everything, I'm also going to just make sure that you can see here we want actually a couple of different pieces, and we want that to actually be one piece. So I'm going to select on these three pieces and press unite. And I'm going to do that for any other objects. Just going to check that out. I think we're good. And I'm also going to save for web so that we can put a JPEG in our deck. So if I go to export and press save, head to my working folder, Illustrator, and I'm just going to save it as 2D Design 01. So now that we've got our design saved with this color palette, let's try this other color palette. I'm going to select the design and head to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, Advanced Options. And now I'm going to select this new color group. You can see it's actually merged a couple of these colors for some reason, so I'm going to just separate those out. Just exclude that color. And now let's move these about a bit. Cool, so now that's kind of working quite nice. I've got, the original color, this yellow, and the white that we originally had with this kind of desaturated pink. And got the orange with the original pink there. So that's kind of cool. We could play around with the modes a bit if we wanted. So I'm just going to see what happens playing with these modes. I don't want too much white in the design, so I'm actually going to try and find a combination that has less white. Maybe I don't want big blocks of yellow either. I think that could work. Let's run with that. I'm going to press OK. And now I'm going to save that. And I'm also going to save for web. Let's head over to our deck and drop those two JPEGs into our 2D design section. Now we've got two 2D designs with two different color palettes. Now you know how to create a design in Illustrator and iterate through colors of the design. It'll be great to see your work in the forum. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to prepare and bring your chosen design into Cinema 4D. I can't wait to see you there.